All right, we are live on the Coach Eli television network. Welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Glad you could all join me here tonight. It is Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. And I decided to live stream tonight, even though I wasn't going to stream until tomorrow. Those of you that have been following me for quite some time know that I've been out of town for the past couple of days, and I wasn't going to come back until about this time or a little bit later tonight originally, but some plans changed, and I'm going to explain more about that here in a little bit. Stick around for that. If you're here watching on the replay, hey, don't worry. These streams have evergreen content, and you're going to want to definitely hear tonight's show because we're going to be discussing how to get over or how to deal with resentment, how to work through resentment. So that way you can clear your soul before it's too late. And when I say before it's too late, that has a lot of meaning for this show. And you're going to want to stick around for that. But before I get to that, let me first of all make sure that the YouTube notification has gone out. And it absolutely has. The iPhone's just got the update to iOS 15, and it seems to be rolling smoothly so far. I really like it so far. Maybe I'll do a separate stream on that, as a business stream. But let me check out the back end of all three platforms that we're streaming on. YouTube seems to be rolling smoothly. Facebook seems to be rolling well. And DLive seems to be rolling well. And my allergies seem to be doing what they always do. So before I get to that, give me a second. Let me just clear my throat. Give me a second here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my allergies were kicking into high gear the past couple of days, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all good. So let's just get right to it because I don't want to be on longer than 2 hours tonight. I do have a special phone call to make afterwards. And I do also want to get some rest because, like I said, I just came back from a little mini, vacation or getaway with this new woman that I've been seeing for a little over 2 weeks now. And there's a story that I was debating about whether to share or not. And I'm going to share the story because I'll tell you, folks, I experienced something yesterday unlike anything I've ever experienced before in my entire life. And it was very scary. And it really got me to realize how short life is. And how many people take life for granted. And why I feel that for those of you out there that are holding on to resentment towards others for any reason, especially resentment towards family members, it's time to let that go. It's time to let that go so you're able to clear your soul before it is too late. Because if you don't let go of that resentment to clear your soul before it is too late, it is something that either you or other people that care about you are going to have to deal with for the rest of their life. I'll explain more about that as the show goes on. Queen Helen Casey is in the house. The Queen is here. I had to move the podcast to their device. No worries, Queen. Thank you so much for being here to moderate the chat. I don't think we'll have much difficulty because of my high security already, but thank you so much for being here. As always, it's a pleasure. I've known you for over a couple years now, and you're an amazing, Queen, and I really thank you. I'm very grateful and thankful to the person that you are, or for the person that you are, which is what I'm trying to say. Everything seems to be rolling smoothly. I don't think we're going to have any issues here. So let's get right to it. The topic of tonight's stream is how to let go of resentment to free your soul before it is too late, or it's too late. One more time, how to let go of resentment to free your soul before it's too late. Here's how tonight's show is going to go. And I know that very special lady is watching behind the scenes. Ma'am, welcome to the show. Everyone, welcome to the show. But special welcome to you, ma'am, obviously. Here's how tonight's show is going to go. I'm going to share this story about what happened during my little mini getaway with this amazing woman over the past couple of days. And then I'm going to go over 3 fairly recent Reddit postings that discuss this topic. The first one I'm going to go over during the first segment after I share the story. And it's from the subreddit CPTSD, titled Resentment Towards People That Had Good Childhoods. Perfect for this topic here. It's very interesting. Can't wait to get to that. And then after I take a break, I'm going to come back and read a couple more Reddit postings. And the second one is from the subreddit ADHD Women. And the topic is, or the title of the posting is anyone else struggling with constant anger and resentment? I think it's a pretty obvious question there. Lots of people are struggling with constant anger and resentment. And tonight I'm going to share with you folks how to work through that. It's really not that difficult to work through that. I've had to work through that myself many times. And last but not least, to end up the show, we're going to head on over to the subreddit Poverty Finance. And we're going to share our thoughts regarding the posting. Do you get over the resentment felt towards people who never experienced poverty? One more time. Do you get over the resentment felt towards people who never experienced poverty? I've been very fortunate to never have experienced poverty in my life. My family, I was very fortunate to come from a great family that worked hard and provided for myself, my brother. My dad worked very hard to provide for myself and my brother and to put us through good schools. And my father took care of my mother until she started working when I turned 16, and my brother was about 14 and a half or so, almost 15. So, I've never, ever experienced poverty in ways many other people I've come across have. And, those people, I can understand why they would, hold on to resentment or, have and hold on to resentment towards people like myself, because they didn't have the greatest upbringing. They weren't fortunate to have a decent lifestyle like I did. So I can understand that. And we're going to get that posting towards the end of the second segment, which would be towards the end of the show. So let's get to this story here. Hey, look who's here. Dion, SIFUSMO. Hey, Coach. Hey, Dion. How you doing? Queen Helen Casey says, hello, Dion. SIFUSMO says, hello, Queen. Hey, SIFUSMO, I got to tell you, this new lady I've been seeing, we were talking about you on this little mini getaway that we just came back from. And I'll be honest, bro, because she knows I'm honest, and you know I'm honest, right? She was saying she didn't really like you at first, but she didn't realize how good of a guy you are. And I showed her some of your very positive messages and, played some of the voice notes or the voice messages you sent through Facebook Messenger behind the scenes on our, Coach Eli moderator private group that we have going on there. And she takes it back. She feels bad for making a snap decision on who you are as a person. And she really likes you, bro. She really thinks you're a good guy and you got a great head on your shoulders. And I just wanted to mention that to you, bro. So thank you so much for being here. Let's get to the story, folks. This is not easy for me to talk about. And again, I was debating on whether I wanted to talk about it or not, but I just felt it was very important to mention this. Because I'm sure some of you have experienced something like this in the past. And it really, really gets you to think about how short life is and can be. And sometimes things just happen unexpectedly. And if these things happen and they don't turn out, fortunately, the way this turned out, a lot of people will be left behind, holding on to resentment and never having a chance to make things right with that particular person or anyone going through this, right? Or who would have gone through this. Queen says, spit it out, Eli. Well, Queen, I'm going to get to that, SAFSMO says, oh, wow, LOL, didn't know she knew who I was. Well, bro, I show her what I do. I'm sure you make your woman aware of everything you do, bro. Like, you got to be honest with women and tell them everything, right? So that way they don't worry about what you're doing or not doing, right? SAFSMO Dion says, tell her I said thank you. I just did. She's watching live from her place right now. So, Queen, I'm going to spit it out. I'm going to get to it. I'm not the kind of person that wants to drag things on. I'm not trying to drag this on purpose just to get more people to stick around longer. I'm not worried about that. It's not an easy thing to talk about, Queen. So on Monday night, after I did that Walking with Purpose stream earlier on that day, this woman, drove to my area, parked her car, and got in my car, and we took off and headed out to the Sacramento area, a couple hours away from where we live, to get away, get a nice hotel suite, and to do some hiking and explore the area and just spend some quality time together because, she works in retail management like I used to work during my younger days and, has different days off each week. Queen, this woman behind the scenes says, LOL, I love how Queen just rushed you. Well, I know you ladies stick together on that stuff, right? Again, I'll say this, and Dion will probably agree. You see, women want men to be patient with them, right? You ladies want us to be patient with you, right? But when it comes time, when you want something from us, right, you have zero patience, right? Have you noticed that, Dion? Like, women are extremely impatient, right, regarding everything, but they want us men to be patient, right? I mean, how is that fair, right? Now, us guys that understand women and understand the fact that women are emotional beings and they respond to everything emotionally first based on how they're feeling at the present moment, we understand why women can come off as very hypocritical because they're emotional, right? Because of their emotions, they have zero patience when it comes to everything, especially when it comes to everything regarding men, right? But you ladies want us to be completely patient with you regarding everything, right? Right? I guess we balance that side out of women, right? They balance us out in different ways, right? Oh, man. Hang on a second. People are texting me during this show. Anyway. All right. So, we drove out to the Sacramento area and checked into our room. We got out there like shortly after 10 or 10:30 p.m. And we ended up going nearby to a casino that's in the area, an Indian casino, for dinner because we hadn't eaten, right? We saved our appetite because we wanted to eat. And since we were there so late, I had to find a place that was open 24 hours. And I found this casino nearby that I'd never been to. She had been there before, but I had never been there. And we found this 24-hour cafe in the casino. So we went to go eat there. We got there probably around 11:30 or closer to midnight, 11:45 or midnight or so, right? We walk in there, great service. They sat us down immediately. We had a great server, nice young lady, probably in her mid-20s or so, maybe late 20s or so, something like that. And we had an incredible meal. It was just amazing food, amazing service. And because this woman that I was with had like a player's card at this casino, I got like a 10% discount. And we got a bunch of food for less than $60. Like this food was like literally 5-star food in this casino cafe, like at midnight, right? It was great, right? We even had great dessert. We had a great piece of cheesecake. And it was a big piece of cheesecake. Like both of us couldn't finish this cheesecake and we were both nibbling on it after we ate dinner. So we go back to the room and we, snuggle up and, do what people do, when they're together, right? You know how that goes, right, Dion and Queen and everyone else, right? And we went to bed because the next day we were going to go on a hike. And then after the hike, we were going to go to another restaurant that she hadn't been to in a while. And we had some, some great plans, right? And at the last minute, I was saying, we could hike locally, or we're like an hour and a half away from Tahoe, and they have this really nice trail there called the Tahoe, the Truckee River Legacy Trail. And I had visited that trail before in the past with my ex Dana. Most of you that have been following me for a while know Dana. And they were still building that trail, and they had built out more of that trail. And now they're still working on building more of it out, but they've now built almost 10 miles out of that trail. And we were going to go out there and do a 10-mile hike/walk. It's a paved path for the most part. So, and this woman, I think I've talked about this before. She's had some medical issues that have hit her later on in life regarding her lungs and oxygen. She, because of this condition, I guess she has or got somehow, she gets a little less oxygen into her lungs than somebody that has a normal level of oxygen. And she said that I don't know if it'd be a good idea to go in a high elevation and stuff like that, but I want to go try it out and see if everything's going to be okay. And I should be fine. Things have been fine, right? And I'm like, okay, I knew that she had this condition, but she said she'd never had a problem or anything like that, right? So we're driving to Tahoe. Where we were at, we were literally like at a couple hundred feet above sea level, if that, less than that. We're like right at sea level, right? So we're driving up the mountains on I-80. We're heading over to Tahoe, and the Truckee area where this trail's at. I don't think she has asthma. She can let me know. Queen. I don't know, man. Let me know behind the scenes if you have asthma or you're not sure. I mean, I think she needs to go get reevaluated at the doctor, but we'll get to that in a second. So anyway, we're driving up I-80, and we hit the peak. Donner Summit is like 7,200 feet above sea level. No problem for me because I've been I've been there before, and my health is pretty good. And she just got back to me and said, no on the asthma. Well, it could be a possibility, man, because I know you said you haven't been to the doctors in a while. But anyway, as far as she knows, she has no asthma. So we get to the trail. And, we're preparing. We're packing, my backpack. I purchased some snacks before we took off at the Safeway, and some drinks, and I had a lot of stuff because we were going to do almost a 10-mile hike, right? And it was only about 78 degrees. It wasn't really that hot. It was hot coming up the mountain, and it was hot where we were at. It was like 90 degrees or so, right? 90, 91, 92. But when you get to the Tahoe area and the elevation's higher and you're by a body of water, it's going to be a little bit cooler. So it was about 78 degrees. And I was packing the bag. She was getting prepared as well, too. And we got ready and we started walking towards the trailhead. We parked in the parking lot. There's like free parking there, right? And we start walking on the path. Everything was cool. And about an eighth of a mile in, not even a quarter of a mile, an eighth of a mile in, we saw this nice couple that was biking on the path that lived in the area. And, we said hi to them and we took some pictures and stuff and all that. 90-degree weather is cooking temperature, says Queen. Okay. I hear you, Queen. I hear you. So we were talking with the people on the path for a few minutes. They were a very nice couple, and I was telling them, I'd been here in the past with an ex, and it looks like they built out more of the trail, and they were telling us, yeah, they're going to be building more parts of the trail. It's going to go even all the way to Reno, and it's going to be a pretty lengthy trail in the future. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I want to come back at some point and do the whole thing. That would be awesome. So after we were done talking with them, this lady I've been seeing and we continued to walk past the trail. Remember, when we saw this couple, we were an eighth of a mile into this hike, right? We went out another eighth of a mile. So now we're a quarter mile into this hike. And this woman I'm with starts getting a little bit dizzy. And she starts to feel a little queasy. And then after a few more steps, she started getting a little wobbly. And folks, it's not an easy part for me to talk about, but what happened next, I really want to share this as respectfully, professionally, and maturely as possible. Because this is something I've never, ever experienced in my life. Unfortunately for me, my instincts kicked in, and this woman got so wobbly, she started to slip, and she was about to fall. And then she started to fall, and I grabbed her as she was falling backwards towards her back. And she was over here, and I was here. She was a little bit ahead of me because she was walking a little wobbly. Initially, she was walking beside me. She went a little ahead of me as she was wobbling. And then I reached over as I saw her falling, and I was able to catch her to break her fall, but I couldn't get a good grip on her enough to prevent her from falling. So she ended up falling, but I broke her fall. And not to the point of where there was like nothing, her head didn't hit the ground or anything. I think her back hit the ground a little bit, but nothing happened to her. Her head was fine, her back was fine. She then was laying on the ground. And all of a sudden, she was coughing. And then she foamed at the mouth. I was freaked out. This is serious, folks. I don't care if people are trolling here and talk smack. This is nothing to talk smack about. Yeah, Dion. Man, I had to share this story because I just couldn't live with myself not sharing this story. And stick around, man, because I've got something amazing to say about you in a second. She was down on the ground, foaming at the mouth. And I want to say this as respectfully, professionally, and maturely as possible. Not only to respect her, but to respect the YouTube guidelines. I thought I was losing her. I thought she was going to, especially when she was foaming at the mouth. kept yelling out her name. I kept yelling out her name, and I was about to call 911 for my cell phone. And then this amazing man, along with his girlfriend or wife, probably it was his wife, they heard me calling her name loud, and they ran over there. And he said, I'm going to call 911 and get the paramedics. There are good people left in this world, folks. I was sitting there. I was trying to get her to wake up. And all of a sudden, she woke up. And I was like, wow. Thank God. I was like, thank God. So, I lifted her off. Give me a second, folks. I'm sorry. I lifted her off the ground. She got on her feet, and she seemed disoriented. And I was holding her, not tightly. Thanks for sharing this, bro. You're welcome, bro. This is important for people to hear, bro. I was holding her gently, but not gently to the point of where she would, where I would be squeezing her too tight, but not loose enough to where she could fall. I was trying to hold her in a way where she would be able to move naturally, but not fall and kind of control her movement. I was trying to get her off that path and get her back to my car where the air conditioning was at. Now, for those of you that are aware of what's been happening in Northern California, we've had a lot of wildfires in that area. Not directly right in that area, but within 30 miles or 20 miles of that area. And a lot of the smoke traveled into that Truckee, Tahoe area. And it wasn't as bad as it has been. There was some haze, but I'd say the haze and the smoke was probably only about 20% of what it was when those fires first started. So it wasn't as smoky, but it was still a little smoky. So the air quality wasn't as great. Oh yeah, the fires are terrible there. Take all the time you need, brother. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Thank you for understanding. So I'm holding her. And remember, I also still have my pinched nerve. I mean, it's almost healed, but it's still, kind of like lingering on a little bit. And my doctors have said it's going to linger on a little bit. It'll go away. Just keep walking it off. I'm trying to keep my balance. I was doing a good job. I'm trying to keep her balance. I'm trying to get her off this trail. I'm talking to her, keeping her awake, keeping her alert. There are a couple of benches on the way back. I had her stop. And she tried to walk away from me for a second, and she was walking towards the edge, and I had to go run and grab her because I didn't want her going off the edge. Like, this was scary, folks. This was literally one of the scariest things I've ever dealt with in my entire life. But my instincts as a man kicked in, and I went into fight or flight mode. I went into the mode of, I'm a man. This is what I was made for. I'm a man. This is what I was made for. I'm going to rescue this woman. I'm going to save her. And I don't care if it sounds sissy-ish. That's not a sissy situation. That's what men do. That's what men do. I kept walking her off the trail. I kept telling her, I can see the car from here. We're almost there. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got to the end of the trail at the parking lot, and right as we were walking in, the paramedics showed up. And I brought her right over to the paramedics. And she was I mean, she was awake and alert, but she had just experienced a traumatic experience. I didn't know if she had a seizure. Maybe she had a seizure. I don't know. Maybe the elevation was affecting her oxygen level. Maybe the smoke from the fires. We don't know. We don't know what happened. Yes, courage, says SAF. Yes, Mo Dion. I don't know. I don't know what caused it. I don't know what caused it, right? And so I brought her over to the paramedics. And let me tell you about this woman. She is a fighter. She's a strong woman. And I'm sure she's had some other experiences similar. I think she told me she had a one other similar experience like this in the past, but it wasn't quite as serious as this. But I brought her over to the paramedics, and the paramedics were trying to get her on, what do you call that thing? Is it called the gurney? I think it's called the gurney, right? A wheeled stretcher used for transporting hospital patients. Yeah, gurney.
Gurney.
Could you hear that from Google? Yeah, it's called a gurney, right? This woman used to be a nurse. It's called a gurney, right? So, and I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm just like, I guess the only reason why I'm laughing is because this woman is so stubborn to the point of where, like, she would give up her life for somebody. She's the kind of woman that doesn't like going to the emergency room or the hospitals. She's like, yes, it's called a gurney. Okay. That takes courage, Eli. I applaud you, bro. Bro, thank you, man. I'm not even looking for a pat on the back, bro. I don't care about that. All I care about is that this woman is okay. There's more to the story, man. I'm going to share it, right? So I convinced her. She was looking at me. These were two male paramedics, pretty strong guys, pretty nice guys, good guys, right? And they were trying to relax her. And, they finally got her on the gurney and they put her in the ambulance and they were taking her vitals and all that. And then they asked her a few questions. And she got most of the questions right, but she struggled saying her age for a little bit. I think she was just in shock and she was panicking, and I think it was anxiety or something like that. And these guys were asking me questions, and I told them, I said, we've been together for 2 weeks. This is our first time going away like this. And then the guy repeats after me and goes, oh, 2 weeks. So he knew, like, it's a new relationship. I'm taking the lady away. I'm trying to show her a nice time. I really like her, right? And so they knew I didn't know her entire history. I mean, I knew enough, right? She had told me enough about it. And I told them what I knew. They asked her phone number. She read back she said her phone number, and I showed there's one paramedic in the ambulance asking her questions, and the other one was next to me asking me some questions. And then I showed him my phone with her number as she was saying it. And so she got the number right. They asked her date of birth. She got that right. But when they were asking her age, she couldn't say her age. But she got everything else right. And I'm starting to think, and this is not a laughing matter, but I'm starting to think maybe she just didn't want to come out and say she was 46, but she gave her date of birth and she said it perfectly, right? So they took her vitals and she was fine. She basically recovered. And we told her that, she has, this oxygen issue with her lungs, but she's been, cleared to be able to do things. She just hasn't been in high elevation in a while. Oh, wow. There's always some comic relief. LOL. There is, bro. There is, bro. So I wanted her to go to the emergency room. Paramedics suggested going to the emergency room. And she's like, no, I don't want to go to the emergency room. I'll be fine. This is just, I'll be okay. I feel better. I feel good, right? She's being real stubborn, right? And they're even saying, look, if you don't want to go with us, you can have your man take you. And I was going to take her, right? But she didn't want me to take her, right? And the paramedic inside of the ambulance was talking with her. She was just laying down. The one outside the ambulance, I looked at him and I'm like, man, I want her to go, but I can't tell her what to do. She's a grown woman. I said, I can't tell her what to do. I'm trying to show that I'm a good guy, right? I want to do the right thing, but she's a grown adult, right? Just because I'm a man, she's a woman, and she's having one of those emotional moments. I can't force her to do that, right? So, the paramedics, because she was throwing up every now and then, the paramedics were they gave her actually we call them a barf bag, right? I don't know what they actually call them, like a vomit bag. What do they call those things? What's the professional term for a barf bag? Barf bag professional term. What do they call that thing, right? We know it as a barf bag, a waterproof bag into which a person such as an airplane passenger who is experiencing nausea can vomit. Nonetheless, he has his face in the barf bag on this ridiculously cramped and bumpy twin. Oh, that's a story there. So we know it as a barf bag. That's what we know it. Dion's laughing. It's not the biggest laughing matter, bro, but it is what it is. Oh, she just told me because she used to be a nurse. Emesis, emesis bag. Emesis. Emesis. Emesis bag. Vomit bags. Blue vomit bags for travel, motion sickness, digestion, and nausea. These leak-proof emesis bags are made of ultra-durable materials which can keep waste from spilling out. So they gave her one of those emesis barf bags, whatever you call them, right? It's called a vomit dilator. I don't know, man. I have no clue, man. So anyway, so she decided to not want to go to the hospital. So she had to sign a waiver because the paramedics they're responsible for her, right? They were going to transport her, right? And they had me sign as a witness, which is fine. And everything is digital nowadays. These paramedics, they had like an iPad or like a what do you call it? A tablet, right? It's all digital now. You sign there digitally, right? I'm like, even you guys are digital nowadays too. It's like, I was like, wow. So they released her to me. I took her over to my car. And they said, if you want to take her to the hospital, we can even follow you there. They were going to escort us, right? I really wanted to get her to the hospital, but she was stubborn, didn't want to go, right? So we leave the area. We're driving for about 3 miles, and she felt like she was going to throw up again. She felt like she was going to throw up again. And we pulled over to the side, and I saw a paramedic about to drive by. I thought it was the same paramedics that actually helped us at the hiking trail. So I flagged the paramedics down, and they came over and pulled over by the side of the road. They were different paramedics. I explained to them what happened. They may have heard it on the radio, and they were checking her out, and they suggested that she goes to the hospital as well. but she didn't want to go. She kept on throwing up a little bit. And what they said was, maybe the elevation is affecting her. They obviously people can be affected by the elevation. It's pretty high up there. I mean, in Truckee, it's about 62 to 6,500 feet, but we had to cross over the summit. The highest point in that area is 7,200 feet. Now, if you go further into Tahoe, Mount Rose is the highest point. That's 8,500 feet, but we were nowhere near there. Oh, geez, scary, right? Yeah, man. So, so they said you can just try to get her. We're only about an hour, 20 minutes away or so from getting her down to sea level where you guys were staying at. I told them where we were staying at, and hopefully she'll feel better. If you need to stop and pull over or call us again, just let us know. Call us from your phone. No problem. So we get back on the I-80 West. We're heading back towards the Sacramento area where we were staying, right? And this entire time, like literally like every 20 minutes or so, she was just like throwing up. Anyway, to make a long story short, we ended up getting back to the hotel and brought her into the hotel and just snuggled up with her. And she started feeling a lot better. And we kind of figured out what happened. We're not exactly sure. She still hasn't gone to the hospital at this point, but she's going to go see her doctor very soon. She was dehydrated, and she kind of has a little bit of an eating disorder, so she doesn't eat a lot of food. And a lot of it has to do with, I don't want to get too far into it because I want to respect her privacy and respect everything. But a lot of it has to do with past relationships and things she's been through. Some of it has to do with her upbringing. I mean, she had some good people in her life, but I shared in the past that her biological father wasn't in the picture, but she had her biological mother and a stepfather that was like a real good father to her. So she had a decent upbringing, but she had some relationships that went south, and she had some things happen in her life. I'm not going to get too far into it regarding her career and all that. And these things will affect you, folks. People go through things, right? But yeah, so we realized that, she was drinking way too much water to try to compensate her dehydration. She also likes having a drink every now and then. And because she's so tiny, like one drink can dehydrate her, right? And so, yeah, Dion, he says, oh my. But to make a long story short here, because I'm now at 43 minutes, and I'm going to take a break before I even get to the first Reddit posting, because I want to give this a full section. I want to pay respect to this woman. She started feeling a lot better, and we got back. I mean, we were back at the hotel like around 4 o'clock, 4:30, almost 5 in the afternoon, early evening, and we just decided to stay in. And I ordered some DoorDash. DoorDash is great for these situations. And we ate a little bit, and then we just fell asleep. I needed to catch up on sleep as well because, my sleeping pattern, doing the YouTube stuff and other things lately hasn't been that great. And I had told her even a couple weeks before I met her, I had some panic attacks and I went through some stuff. So, hey, it happens. It can happen to anyone, right? So, we went to bed early, and she started feeling a lot better. And we got up in the morning, and she was feeling a lot better. And I told her, I said, I needed to hear that story, bro. Thank you. Why is that, bro? Tell me, be more specific, bro, because I'm sure maybe you've experienced some things, dude. And this can happen at any time, bro, to anyone, right? So I said, check out time's 11 o'clock. we're just going to head back. We'll stop by, get some coffee at one of my favorite places, which is her favorite place too, called Dutch Brothers. We have this, coffee company. They're at least here in California. I'm not sure if they're elsewhere. They're called Dutch Brothers. And they don't have them really in the Bay Area. There's only like one location in the far East Bay Area because it's too expensive for them to open them up here. But in that area, they're everywhere. And so I said, let's get some Dutch Brothers, and then we'll stop at the gas station, get some gas, and if you need any snacks or anything to drink or anything, we'll get it there, and then we'll head on back. And she didn't really want to head back that early. She wanted to spend more time with me, but I said, we need to get you back. You're feeling better now. And if you feel good enough to drive home, we got to get you back to your place in your area. And then, we'll talk, later tonight. And we're driving back, and for the most part, she was doing fine. We're talking about some things, and I'm not going to really get into it because it's personal stuff that doesn't need to be put out here. But, there are some things that she wants to work through with certain family members. And those things have been affecting her emotionally. And that also takes a toll on, situations like these. When you have something when you have, what she has regarding her lungs, where she gets a little less oxygen than someone with normal lungs, these emotions and trauma and stuff like that, it can affect you. Anxiety, panic attacks, and all of that can affect you. SFSMOD says, I've had similar situations happen like that. My uncle was in a similar situation where I had to get him out of the house during a hurricane. Very courageous situation and scary. Yeah, bro. Bro, in that situation, bro, you just have to man up, dude. In that situation, you have no time to think. You're all about, what can I do to save this person, man? You're like, what can I do to save this person? And so we were driving back. I drove her back to her car. She said she was going to call her mother on the way back, and she did. And then I didn't hear from her for almost 2.5, 3 hours. I was like, oh my God, if I don't hear from her within the next hour, I'm going to call her. And she sent me a text. She's like, I'm home, settled in. So I'm home, I'm going to settle in. And I had told her that I'm probably going to do a show tonight because I really want to talk about this, because I really feel it's important to share with people that are dealing with something in a similar way or have dealt with something in a similar way, to know, hey, you're not alone here. Let's get those likes up, guys. Thank you, bro. Yeah, only 2 people are liking this right now. That's okay, dude. I don't care. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter. But I appreciate it, man. Before I take my first break and come back and go through those 3 postings, maybe I'll only go through 2 and do the third one another time. We'll see how much time I have. I really want to wrap up this show by 9 o'clock, no matter what. 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. I was talking with her on the way back, and I told her, I said, you know what? You really need to communicate more with your family and let go of any resentment that's going on between you and any of your family members, regarding that, because if something worse would have happened to you, would have left them hanging, right? It would have left them in that upset state, that pissed off state, right? And I honestly feel that, people need to really learn to let go of resentment, because life is short. And if you don't let go of resentment and free your soul before it's too late, once somebody goes, you don't have a chance to come clean with them and to apologize to them and to just say, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just like I did with my father 6 months before he passed away. I've shared this story too many times. I apologize to my father for everything. I didn't even know he was going to pass away, but I'm glad I did it because 6 months later, he passed away all of a sudden at the age of 76. Had I not done that, I would have been holding on to resentment for the rest of my life. I would have felt bad about it. But I finally manned up to my father and let it all go before his time came. Like I said, I didn't know it was going to happen. Folks, you never know. You never know when someone's time is going to come. And that's why, I always recommend be good to everybody, especially family. Sometimes family can piss you off the most, right? But the reason why family pisses you off the most is because they care about you more than anyone. And they just want you to be happy, right? If you can let go of that resentment towards anyone and everyone, let it go. It's going to clear your soul. And how do you let it go? It's very simple. You just decide to let it go. You just say, you know what? I'm not going to hold on to this anymore. Life is short. My time could come tomorrow, or people I care for, their time might come tomorrow. And if their time comes and you're holding on to resentment, like I was with my father until I let it go, if their time comes before you have, your opportunity to let it go and come clean and let go of that resentment, you're going to carry that for the rest of your life. You're going to carry that with you for the rest of your life. And trust me, you don't want to live your life in that way. I've seen many people hold on to resentment, and then the person they're holding on to resentment, their time comes, and it really, really messes them up. And that's where I'm going to, stop this story here and take a quick break here. We are at 52 minutes. Ma'am, I want to say this. I resented my family for the longest too. I get it, bro. They're probably good to you, bro. They probably really cared about you, and they still do, right? My family's always cared about me. I always thought my dad was trying to control me and not allow me to have fun and enjoy life, and my dad was right about everything. Same with my mom. Even my brother has tried to get through to me at times. I've apologized to all of them. I've let go of that resentment. I feel so much better. Queen says, I have always been the black sheep of the family. Yeah, we know, Queen. Queen, you are the special one of the bunch, Queen. There's no one like you, Queen. You are totally unique. But ma'am, I want to say this. You're a strong woman. For what you've been through, regarding parts of your upbringing, regarding your past relationships, your past marriage, you have children. What you've been through, ma'am, for what you've been through, you're a strong woman. And that's why I believe you pulled through what happened yesterday. Most guys, would have probably handled yesterday differently than I handled it. I've been with this woman for a couple of weeks, right? It doesn't make any difference how long you've been with someone. And when something like that happens, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a stranger where that happened to. We were strangers to those other people, and they helped us. When these things happen, when these things happen, folks, you got to react and help as best as possible. And stay calm. No matter what the situation. Again, ma'am, you're very strong. And I admire that. And what happened to you yesterday really opened up my eyes to even more so respect people like you and respect other people that I've taken for granted in the past and held on to resentment. Sometimes it takes something like this to wake us up, folks. I'm sharing this story because this story may wake many of you up to just let go of that resentment and to reach out to those family members or friends and say, you know what? I don't want to carry this resentment anymore. Dude, I'm sorry. Ma'am, I'm sorry. Right? Mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, cousin, nephew, niece, I'm sorry. That's all it takes. Even if you feel they're more wrong than you, take the initiative and start that change. Let go of that resentment now before it's too late. It's very simple to do so. Just do it. Just do it. Stop being so stubborn. Let go of the stubborn attitude. Let go of the independent attitude saying, I can do this myself. I don't need anyone, right? I can handle myself, right? This woman's very independent. She is. She's very stubborn, right? But even now, I know she realizes that, you know what, no matter how stubborn or independent she is, when things like this happen, you gotta throw all that shit out and do what's right and allow other people to help you because it can make the difference of you being alive or not here anymore. My ex used to be very stubborn. She probably still is, bro. She just probably learned how to handle it better, right? Hey, I'm stubborn, bro, but you know what? I have a lot of tolerance for things, dude, but I'm still stubborn. Amen, says SIFUSMO. Very commendable, Eli. And my ex used to be very stubborn. I appreciate you, ma'am. If you're still watching, before I go on break, if you want to send me a message letting me know how you doing, you doing okay? Let me know if you're enjoying the show so far. All right, folks. We are at 58 minutes. I'm going to cue up some royalty-free YouTube music right now and step away for a quick break. And then I'm going to get to at least 2 of those Reddit postings, maybe all 3. I'm going to stay on the air when I get back until 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 midnight Eastern. And if I don't get to the other one, or the last one, the third one, I'll get to another time. This story just took a little bit longer than I thought it would. So let's cue it up. Let's cue it up. Let's see here. Couple more. Great show, says SIFUSFO. SIFUSFO, I can't even talk, bro. Sorry. SIFUSMO, Dion, man. Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. This is not the most energetic show, bro, but this is a story I really, really wanted to share, man. She wrote, I'm good, baby. Thanks. That's nice to hear, man. It's nice to hear. Give me a second here, folks. All right, just need a couple more songs here. Couple more. All right, folks, music is all queued up. I'm going to step away for a quick break, maybe 7 to 9 minutes or 10 minutes or so. And when we return, we're going to go over at least 2 of the 3 Reddit postings. First one's going to be resentment towards people that had good childhoods. And the second one is anyone else struggling with constant anger and resentment. If we have time, we're going to go over, do you get over the resentment felt towards people who never experienced poverty? So stick around. We'll be right We're back. Oh, yeah. After that story and what happened, I don't know. My energy is all over the place, but it'll be fine. I'll make it. I'm happy everything turned out okay, all right? One and up, one and up. Hit it! Come on, Eli. Get yourself together, man. All right. All right. All right. The show must go on, right? The show must go on. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. Broadcasting live on the Coach Eli television network, primarily broadcasting on YouTube at youtube.com/LifeCoachEli. We're also simulcasting live on Facebook and D Live. If you're on Facebook and D Live and you want more than just these in-studio live stream simulcasts, if you want, mobile live streams exclusive to YouTube, if you want other pre-recorded videos at the highest quality, 4K 60 frames per second, or if you want to become a channel member on YouTube, which is optional. I am a monetized channel on YouTube. You can become a member, which is what I'm trying to say, for as little as $4.99 per month or $99.99 per month. All 5 of my membership packages get you the exact same thing. It's just up to you how much you want to donate monthly to sponsor the channel. If you become a member, you'll get exclusive members-only content, including 21 members-only videos I've done. And I also have a couple of members-only live streams that are available on the replay for members only, and much more members-only content to come. You're not obligated or required to become a member, as most of my content is publicly available for free, but that's up to you if you want to sponsor this message and, help it continue moving forward. Tonight, we've been discussing how to let go of resentment to free your soul before it is too late. One more time, how to let go of resentment to free your soul before it is too late. Before I took my first break during the first segment, I shared a very difficult yet very touching story regarding an experience, which is what I'm trying to say, that I had with a woman I've been seeing for a couple of weeks now. We went away for a couple of days and something unexpected happened that almost didn't end up well. When you experience one of those, how do I say this properly for social media? Those experiences that are near death experiences, we can just say that. When you experience that, whether it's with yourself or someone else that you're with or you care for, or anyone, right? For that sake, I care about everyone, whether I know people or not. I want people to always be healthy and happy. When you experience this, folks, it's unlike anything you will ever experience, and it will change your life forever, and you're going to start looking at things much differently. Hopefully, at least, people will start looking at things much differently. And this woman, sent me a couple messages while I was on break. She said she's good. And she said, thank you. She said it was touching and very respectful. I do appreciate that, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I want to just say this real quick before I get to these Reddit postings. Look, there are a lot of people on social media and in the real world that, just like to stir up the pot and cause drama and, just instigate BS, right? And I even hope that those people out there, they can hear a story like this and really understand the meaning and really understand that, hey, life is short. And it's so short that if you're going to waste your time trying to just criticize and kick other people down, it's a pretty shitty way to live your life, in my opinion, right? And Speaking of this, I was talking with my moderators before I went live today, right when I got back home. It was around the, like 3 o'clock hour or so, Pacific time. I was talking with my mods. They were kind of chatting it up. They were really chatting it up in the Coach Eli private moderator chat on Facebook. And I said, you know what, guys, we need to do a stream. We could do it on my channel and do more on your channels other times. And we should really talk about, how the trolls really affect social media. And, just really just get a panel of mature people, primarily my moderators that I trust, and have them share their experiences with trolls and have them share their thoughts, on the behavior of trolls, especially after you experience situations such as I experienced, right? To me, I've ignored them. I keep ignoring them. They keep coming at me. Who knows what they're going to do with this story? Who knows what they're going to say? But quite frankly, I could care less because I've let go of that resentment towards the trolls and haters. I just let it go. I said, hey, that's just the way these people want to be. If they want to be rude, obnoxious people that just don't give a damn, right? That's on them. But again, the reason why they typically behave that way is because, it's a direct reflection of how they see themselves. And they're going through many things themselves, right? And they just haven't found the strength yet to say, hey, okay, enough of this BS. I'm going to let go of the resentment I have towards other people online or in real life and stop, trolling and talking smack about them. But hey, all we can do is hope that, they would handle something like this maturely and respectfully. But hey, everyone is different, right? In the chat, Dion says he's back. And Dion SAFESMO says, at Queen, my stepmother was mentally abusive. Sorry to hear about that, Dion. Queen says, Dion, my mother was beating me every day until most ended up dead. Oh, my God. And Dion says, at Queen, oh, my. And Dion SAFESMO says, they are insecure, Eli. Yeah, no, they are. They are. And I know a lot of them probably were watching this tonight and wondering what I was going to talk about and wondering why, I streamed the day early. And again, whatever will be, will be. It is what it is. All right. Let's get to the first of 3 Reddit postings. Hopefully we will get through all 3 of them. I'm going to stop at 9 o'clock Pacific time exactly, which is 12 midnight. All right. Let's switch on over. This first one is from the subreddit CPTSD, and the title of the original poster is Resentment Towards People That Had Good Childhoods. Let's read what they wrote. I work with so many incredibly lucky people that had good families/childhoods and have absolutely no concept of how bad life can be for the less fortunate. Hearing them talk about their yearly vacations with extended family or reminiscing about their happy childhoods is exhausting and constantly reminds me of what I missed out on and how fucking unfair it is that I was born into a family of alcoholics, addicts, and mentally ill narcissists. I'm still working my ass off constantly just to try to escape the poverty I was born into, and my fucking coworkers just talk about which country or beach they want to visit on their next vacation. Yeah, there are a lot of people out there that are very selfish and don't have a care about the best overall interest for others, right? And yeah, some of those people probably are narcissistic, and they're just immature people, insecure people. They're just not kind, caring, and loving and considerate people. And that's just unfortunate. But man, can't let that get to you, man. You've identified it perfectly, and I understand that, but you can't let that get to you, man. You just got to keep moving forward and strive to do your best to give yourself the best life you can have based on the cards you've been dealt, right? Inevitably, when conversations turn towards families, I can either lie and pretend I can relate when they talk about familial love, or I can trauma dump on them by accident by being honest about my childhood. well, then you'd be projecting, man. And you don't want to do that. Even somebody in your situation, you want to take the mature approach. And yeah, you're coming out here and you're venting and you're ranting, like you mentioned in your post up above. Here it says vent rant. So I get that, but you don't want to stoop down to their level just because just because maybe they're talking smack about you or they're showing off, man. You want to be the better person, dude. I am so sick of being unable to relate to 99% of everyone I ever talk to, and once their 15 seconds of pretending to care is over and they go right back to their happy-go-lucky selves, I can't help but fume internally over how they are the ones who are normal and I am the one that's fucked up. Well, here's the thing, dude. You're holding on to resentment right now. And you mentioned that in your title, right? And if you want to work through this and be a better person and be a better person than they are, you got to let it go. And you haven't let it go. And that's unhealthy. And that's going to prevent you from moving forward to get out of the situation you're in. It's not my fault, and I'm so fucking mad. This is my lot in life. I am 28 fucking years old. Dude, you like the F word a lot. When will I stop being angry about this? When you decide, dude, when you choose, stop being angry deep within and just say, you know what, it is what it is. That's how some people are. I can't control the world. All I can do is control how I show up. That's when it's going to change for you, brother. I wish I had gotten to have the childhood I hear them talk about, and I am practically out of the ability to be happy for them when my entire life has been a fight to not be swallowed by the hell I was born into. Well, bro, here's the thing, man. You got to just let it go. You got to stop holding on to the resentment, because the longer you hold on to the resentment, bro, it's going to hinder you from bettering yourself to work harder, maybe get a better job, maybe make more money. And that way you can have all these things. Just because you weren't, given these things, in your childhood, and your family didn't do a lot of these things that you wanted to do, that you hear other people have done, doesn't mean you can't have it now, bro. You can change that for yourself, bro. But you've got to let go of the resentment first towards everyone, including these people that are show-offs. And just ignore them, bro. And if they talk with you, just say, okay, that's cool. Sounds like fun, man. Don't let it get to you, man. That's it, man. Let's read a few comments here, and then we'll get to the next one. Yes, it is unfair. I'm older than you and still angry at my family for stealing my only opportunity for childhood. That sucks, man. I mean, look, you can't control how your family is. You can't. But once you become an adult and you're out to fend for yourself, you got to do whatever it takes to turn that around. And you also have to let go of that resentment. And no matter how poor your childhood upbringing was, one of the best ways to work through it is to, not get mad at these people. At some point, your family will realize what they put you through, and they will come to you and apologize. And I'm sure a lot of, parents nowadays that don't raise their kids properly, later on in life, in their 20s and 30s, when their kids hit their 20s and 30s, they realize it and they feel bad about it. And they come to their kids to try to work things out. And because their kids are still holding on to that resentment, they say, F you, I want nothing to do with you. It's not the right way to handle it. If you're a good person trying to turn your life around from that, you need to accept their apology and say, you know what, I understand it. Things were different back then. I don't know what you and dad were going through. You got to be more understanding. Be the better person, because if you don't let go of that, it's going to affect you from ever getting to where you want to get to. You're going to continue to sink into a deeper depression, and your life's going to be worse than it already is. These coworkers are not your people. The good of trauma dumping is that every once in a while, someone will hear your story and relate. That's why I do these shows. And approach you separately later. Over many years, I have learned if I open the door first, people will walk through it. Right, dude. That's exactly the way to look at it. Open doors for other people. Don't shut people out just because of what happened to you in the past. Do whatever you can to be a better person, right? And again, if your family comes back and apologizes to you for a shitty upbringing, forgive them, bro. It's all about forgiveness. When you learn to forgive, no matter what happens, dude, you'll feel so much better, man, and things will just work out, right? You make mistakes, and you hope people can forgive you, so why can't you do the same thing in return, right? My best friend is a former coworker who I bonded with after helping her move out of her abusive husband's home. We had similarly fucked childhoods, but if you met us in person, you'd never guess. Keep fighting to make yourself happy and hit your own version of success. I could not have said that any better myself, man. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. That's right. All right. Give me a second to clear my throat. Another thing I was just thinking about that might have affected the woman I've been seeing is that this is one of the worst pollen seasons ever. And this year's pollen has been really affecting my allergies unlike anything I've ever seen. So that's another thing to take into consideration, man. You never know. But we'll talk more later tonight after I'm done with the show. All right, let me read one more comment here, then we'll get to the next Reddit subreddit here. Do you talk with any of your family nowadays? I keep vague contact with my mother, but that's it. She has recently been reaping what she spent my teenage years sowing, and I've had to exhaust all my savings trying to save her from homelessness, which has only exacerbated my resentment. But there's a time and a place to have the conversation about my mistreatment during childhood, and while she is penniless and being evicted is not that time. You know what? I completely, this is the original poster responding to that comment above. You know what? That's such a noble thing to do. You're taking care of your mother and preventing her from being evicted despite what she put you through growing up. That is very, very noble. Very, very noble. And I'm sure she appreciates it now. That's nice you were able to find some unexpected solidarity from a coworker and that it turned into quality friendship. It is strange. I almost get even more sad when I do find the occasional kindred spirit because I know they didn't deserve what happened to them to make them able to relate to me and my experiences. It would be nice to have someone to confide in with a similar work background, though. Yeah, you know what? Keep going out there and meeting people. You're going to relate to people. Or start a YouTube channel and talk about this, and you'll find people to relate to you regarding this, right? There are so many things you can do nowadays to find similar people to relate to, and it's an awesome thing. The people that are my moderators on my channel, we relate to a lot of things, and I love that feeling. You can do the same thing. Let's see. I expect it's rather rare for people with my kind of background to be high functional enough to work in my area, though since it is incredibly high stress with regular life or death scenarios, you have to be crazy to seek out that kind of stress. The crazy one is me, LOL. Are you like in the medical fields? Maybe you're a paramedic, maybe you're a doctor, maybe, you're a nurse, who knows? But wow, okay. Thank you for the support, by the way. I greatly appreciate it. You're very kind. I really like that. I like that. Look at how kind this person is, despite the cards they were dealt growing up. I'm going to read just one more other response here, then I'm going to get to the next subreddit here. I am no contact with both parents and one sibling. It's not a good thing. They're probably trying to reach out to you and ask you for forgiveness. My parents/brother are the type to financially exploit any show of compassion, so my normally compassionate heart is hardened to them. It is harsh and I understand, but I cannot allow them windows in my life. I am working hard to break the cycle with my own husband and daughter. Okay. Give me a second here. Wow, these damn allergies. Wow. Okay. Whew. And it could be the fires in the area, too, that's been affecting me. And you are right. I think it is rare to find highly functioning adults to bond with in our experiences, but it has been invaluable to my mental health and well-being to know someone that accepts all my super crazy and I hers. And on a level my husband, who has a normal family upbringing, will never connect to. Yeah, he may never connect with you directly, but I'm sure he understands. If he wasn't a good enough guy to understand, you wouldn't be with him. I am super interested to know life or death scenario, work life. And he's just saying, if you'd like to PM me, I'll give you various details about my work as well, as I would really like to have a kindred spirit to talk about things. But you see, you put it out on Reddit, you found somebody you bonded with, that you clicked with, and that's the way to work through these things. Folks, there are so many options nowadays to connect with like-minded people that have experienced similar things or are going through similar things. And let me tell you something, that's some of the best therapy that can help you work through it, right? All right, let's get to the next subreddit here. From the subreddit, ADHD Women. Is anyone else struggling with constant anger and resentment? So for as long as I can remember, I have these long monologues in my head. I talk to people who have hurt me in the past, and I just tell them how awful they are, and all these things. I can think about this from the moment I wake up and then keep going for hours. It sometimes switches between people, but it is always the same. How I just loop over and over again, how they wrong me, and how I so desperately want them to recognize it and acknowledge me as a person. I know a lot of people like that, right? And you're holding on to resentment based on how family members and other people treated you in the past. You got to learn to just let it go. People make mistakes. People go through things, right? Even your family, they're people too. A few examples. I had a friend for many years who kind of treated me like shit. He would lash out, yell at me, act controlling, etc. But whenever he needed something from me, he would tell me how much he liked me as a friend and all that. That's called a fair weather friend. A lot of people are like that. You don't need people like that in your life. I was always there for him. I organized a surprise birthday party and was there for him when he was sick. I always replied when he messaged me. But over the years, as I got my mental health in a better state, I noticed a lot of jealousy. He was never truly happy for me. Every success always ended in a pity party. I decided to talk to him about this because I really thought I deserved friends who wanted me to be happy. He couldn't handle it and basically lashed out and was so mean. Said all those awful things that you never fucking say to a friend. I ended up walking away because I didn't want to be with a person who did that. Afterwards, this anger started building in me, and I also got more and more insecure about some of the things he said. He basically pointed out a lot of the issues that the ADHD diagnosis was based on, but it still hit me. I stopped reaching out to friends whenever I was sad. I barely talk to anyone anymore because I don't want to be a burden. He really fucked me over, and I am so angry at him. It has been months since this happened, and I have told him how much he hurt me, but no response. So now I just keep looping it on repeat in my head. I am filled with so much anger, and it just consumes me. It raises my pulse, and I can't handle it. A part of me wants to write that awful revenge letter, but I know how bad I would feel afterwards, so I just kept it inside. Well, you got to let it out like you did out here, right? You can't let it build up inside, right? And you should talk to him about it or try to talk with him about it, right? But if he doesn't want to talk with you about it, despite what you've done in the past, you got to let it go. And I tell people this. You should give to give, not give to get. Give to give and not give to get. And if you give to somebody for a while that you assume is a friend, and they say they're a friend, but they don't reciprocate at some point, all you can do is walk away at that point, right? And don't get upset and hold on to resentment because you did so many nice things for them, and when you needed them, they weren't there for you. You got to let it go and move on because you're a better person. And you're there to give, not give to get, right? And this is honestly the story of my life. I was wronged in a similar way by my parents my entire childhood. This stems back to your upbringing. So now, any situation that relates to how you were raised by your parents, it's affecting you. And I can understand that. But you gotta let it go at some point or it's gonna hinder your progress for your entire life. They said so many awful things and they never took responsibility for it. It's as if I deep down, I think you would say am questioning if I actually deserve an apology. When people wrong me like this on a fundamental level, it is as if I can't let it go. I know for a fact that my friend did what they did because they are a shitty person, and I should honestly just be happy that I don't have them in my life anymore, right? That's a good way to look at it, right? You know what the right way to handle it is, so why aren't you handling it that way? But why am I not able to? Because you've decided not to. You have to decide to do the right thing and move on, let it go, right? Why is it that my brain just goes on these long rants where it just thinks about everyone who wronged me? Because it stems back to your childhood. And you're not actually angry at these people. You're angry at your parents. You need to let go of that resentment towards your parents. Excuse me a second. Oh, I had a big itch there. That itch is for good luck. You have to let go of that resentment from your parents. Because if you don't, every person you encounter that behaves in a similar way as your parents did, right, you're going to resent them as well. Because it's something you're familiar to. I feel so angry all the time. And I'm spending so much energy on hiding it away. You got to let it out. You got to talk about it like you did here. That's good, right? Most people know me as a happy and bubbly person who always helps out and is nice to people. Sounds like you expect reciprocation every time you give. And again, I'll say give to give, not give to get. When you give to give, you'll get back sometimes. And the times you don't get back, it won't bother you because you enjoy helping people just for the fact of helping them. And you don't expect reciprocation. But most decent people that you do give to at some point will reciprocate. But if they don't, no problem. Because it should make you feel good that you helped someone, regardless if you get something back in return from them or not. But when I'm alone with my thoughts, I just drown and feel that I am not worth any respect or empathy. The anger is slowly drowning me, and I need advice on how to let it out. Well, this is one way to do it. You came out on Reddit, right? You're talking about it, right? Another way, create a YouTube channel. Talk about what's going on. You'll build an audience of people that will relate to you. Now, you'll deal with trolls too, and you have to ignore them, but keep putting it out there. Keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. This is a good start. Find people in person that are willing to hang out with you and listen to you. You know, it's you just got to keep putting it out there, right? And somebody will relate to you and will talk with you about it. And people that don't care about it, ignore them and move on. I don't want to be an angry person because I would never want to treat people in the same bad way as I was treated. That's good, bro. That's a good way to look at it. I can respect that. That's the way it should be. I want to break the chain of abuse and turn it into love. Then do it. What's holding you back from doing it, right? If that's what you want to do, then just do it. Right? The only way to let go of resentment is to just decide to let go of resentment. You've just had enough of resenting people for the things they put you through, right? Let it go. Let it go, no matter how poorly people have treated you, whether it's your family or friends or other people. Let it go and see how good you feel after that. I've let go of so much resentment in my life, even over the past couple of years. I feel so much better now. And you will too once you learn to let it go. Is anyone else suffering from this? The ADHD medicine is helping a bit, and I have a therapist that I have been going to for 3 years, but I'm getting desperate. Send me book advice or anything that helped you. Thank you. I'm not going to read any comments here because the posting was good enough, and I want to get to the last posting here before time runs out for this stream. But it's really great that this person has sought out help, has had a therapist for 3 years. That does help, right? Okay. And you're taking ADHD medicine, keep taking your medicine. That does help. A lot of people don't want to take the medicine for their condition because they say it gives them side effects and stuff like that, which could be true for some people. But the moment you stop taking your medication or stop listening to what your doctor recommends is the moment that you're going to slip back going the wrong way. Sounds like you're heading in the right direction. Keep doing what you're doing. You're getting there. And you coming out here to write this? Beautiful, man. You put it out there, bro. And that's better than what most people will do, bro. Most people will just keep it bottled in. You at least came out to Reddit and talked about it. And you got, how many responses you get? You got 53 comments. You folks want to read the comments, go to the subreddit ADHD Women and find this posting. It happened a month ago. Is anyone else struggling with constant anger and resentment? All right, let's get to the final posting here from the subreddit Poverty Finance. Let me read the chat real quick. I think there were a couple of messages there. Give me just a few. Nothing happening on Facebook and nothing happening on the live. Okay. Let's see. SIFSMO Dion says, I hated my stepmom for the longest. I don't hate her anymore. I dislike her, but don't hate anymore. Do you mind if I give you a little advice on this, Dion, before I share my advice? Is that okay with you, bro? Because this one thing, you do this one thing, it'll change your life, bro. Because it changed mine. I've resented so many people in my life, bro, because of things that they did to me. Some of the things they did to me were legitimately bad. Other things, I was just jealous of their accomplishments, right? But if people legitimately do bad things to you, bro, one of the best ways to, work through it and better yourself is to just let that shit go. Forgive them, bro. No matter what they do, forgive them, right? You said yes, right? When it comes to your stepmom, you said you don't hate her anymore. I dislike her. Bro, that means the same thing. Dislike, hate, however you put it, bro. You're still holding on to resentment, right? Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do, bro. You're a good dude. I get you've been through things. We all have been through things, right? But how about you stop hating her, bro? How about you reach out to her and say, hey, look, I've been holding on to resentment and I apologize for that. I know, what I went through with you, wasn't the greatest thing, but you are my stepmom. You're not my biological mother. And you were put in that position because you love my biological father. And I just couldn't accept the fact that maybe you're trying to be my mother when you really weren't. You were just trying to be supportive to my father. There are a lot of things, bro, that maybe you didn't realize she was feeling based on the position she was put in, right? My parents are deceased. I'm sorry to hear about that, Queen. Sorry to hear about that. So try it out, Dion, if you want, man. Try to let go of all resentment towards any family member or friend you have, bro. And see how that feels, bro. You're going to be the better person, man. I don't get mad at people anymore, right? I used to get really mad and angry and blow up like a volcano. It's just not worth it, man. I'm getting too old for that, man. Too old for that crap. And I've always been a good guy to the point of where I've just never wanted to, attack anyone or harm anyone, When you're younger, you just don't know any better. When you get older, you start to realize that, your life is precious and time on this world, or in this world is limited, man. And you want to make the best of the days you have left, right? I'm sorry, Queen says SAF, yes and no, Dion. All right. Let's get to the final Reddit posting here. Yeah, I've had zero problems streaming lately ever since I tweaked everything up. This is really good. I'm really, really just impressed. All right. This is from the subreddit Poverty Finance, and the original poster states, do you get over the resentment felt towards people who never experienced poverty? Vent rant. Ma'am, are you still watching the show? Do you have any final thoughts? And do you want me to give you a call within 20 minutes or so after the show ends? I have to shut down my equipment first. Let me know, ma'am. If you're not watching, no big deal. You need some rest anyway. All right, here's what was written by the original poster. I would not say I am in poverty anymore. That's good, as I have been working full-time for a few years, but it is still a low salary, and I have to rent with ridiculous monthly payments for bills and rent. When I was at university, however, this is somebody from another country. They call it university, right? We call it college out here, right? Same thing, though, right? I had no contact with family and lived in poverty for many years. The effect on my mental health, even now, has been quite strong, and I feel great resentment towards people who have never struggled. I think one way of trying to cope with it was to think that everyone started off at the very bottom and had to go through such hard experiences. But the reality is that simply isn't true. How do you get over this feeling? Well, first of all, I understand why you feel the way you feel. And, maybe you were raised, by a family that, struggled to make ends meet, I don't know if you had both your parents or if you came from a broken household. You didn't mention anything regarding that. But regardless, man, a lot of people have resentment towards people like me because I came from a good family and I never had to worry about where my next meal was coming from or if I was going to have a roof over my head or not, right? The heater was always on during the winter and, AC on during the summer. I mean, look, I never had to worry about any of that, right? And I've never been the kind of person that shows off. I don't show off, right? Now there are some people that came from a good family, a well-to-do family like I did, and they'll show off. And I can understand you having resentment towards those people that show off. But, people like myself, I don't show off. I've never shown off, right? And there are people, out here on YouTube, for example, that, look into everyone. They looked into me and they found out I came from a well-to-do family and they resent me for that, right? They resent me for that, right? I mean, it's not my fault that I came from a good family, had a good upbringing, right? But I do understand why people resent people like me. I'm not happy about it, but, I don't complain about it. I understand it. I wish everyone had a fair shot at life and, didn't grow up in poverty, right? But you're working through it. You move forward. You found a way to get into university, into college. Maybe you got a scholarship. Maybe you were working at the same time. You found a way to fend for yourself, and you're making it happen, which is what I'm trying to say, right? You've been working full time for a few years. You're not in poverty anymore, you say, but it's a low salary. Well, you've been there 2 years. Keep a positive attitude. Work hard. Work smart. Apply for every promotion, and within another 2 to 3 years, you'll probably double your salary. And as long as you keep a good attitude and let go of the resentment, you're going to keep moving up and making more money, and then it's not going to bother you anymore. Then you're going to be happy and excited and thrilled that someone in your position that came from poverty turned it around and you made something out of yourself, okay? We are at 1 hour and 49 minutes. It is 8:55 p.m. Pacific, 11:55 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go off the air in about 5 minutes. So I haven't heard back from this woman. Maybe she's doing something else, which is okay. No problem. I don't expect everyone to watch me all the time. But let me see. Let me read a couple comments here real quick. I had to do whoa, slow down, Eli. I had to do a lot of work to retrain myself to avoid resentment since it is energy I can spend doing better for myself. Right, that's the way you want to look at it. If you hold on to resentment, you're wasting energy that you could put into something else more positive to get yourself ahead. Great point. Such a great point. I'm going to give you a big round of applause for that. That's a great point. That's exactly the point I want to get out there. Let go of that resentment. So that way you can spend that energy doing something to better yourself, right? But it is a grind that I can always seep in around when you least expect it. Okay? There's nothing good to be get from reflecting bad energy back into the world. Right, you're realizing no matter what cards you've dealt with, if you waste your life getting angry at the people that put you in that position, you're never going to change, right? It's never going to get better for you. It's only going to get worse. I had to let go of my resentment towards my own grandmother who treated others poorly. I had to let go of the fact that growing up poor, people wouldn't even let their kids come play at our house because they were trying to protect their precious kids from IDK, catching the poor from the trailer park kid. Being poor is not a disease. Jesus, that's ridiculous, right? God. But it is not always possible, and it is a natural feeling to have. I just urge everyone to fight it because when the darkness creeps in, bad shit tends to happen that won't make your life any better in the long run. And all I give a damn about after all these years is others getting out of that darkness and enjoying their lives to the fullest. I'm going to give you another big round of applause. That was very positive. Yes. Very positive. A very positive way to look at it. You are dealing with this the way I feel everyone should deal with it. You let go of the resentment and you keep it positive. You don't let the past get to you, even if it's your own family that put you in that position. I couldn't have written that better myself. I'm going to read just one more comment here before I go off the air, but it looks like she got back to me and she said, from behind the scenes, "Of course I am still listening, and that is fine." Okay. Hey, if you want to take the night off and rest, we can always talk tomorrow. I just figured you wanted to chat a little bit before bed, and maybe that put a smile on your face, but that's up to you. All right, final comment here. Get your questions, comments, and concerns in. It's 8:59 p.m. Pacific, 11:59 p.m. Eastern. We're at 1 hour and 52 minutes. As someone who is now not only the most successful person in my immediate family, but also comfortably upper middle class, it never goes away. The worst is my father's side of the family, who are generationally wealthy and don't appreciate how hard it was to get where I am now and don't really understand the value of what they have. I don't know, dude. I think you're holding on to resentment because you had to work harder to, make money and get yourself in a position of where you're in the upper middle class, right? That's not the way that you're handling it. You're saying it never goes away, right? It never goes away. The resentment never goes away because you are not letting it go away. You're choosing to hold on to it, right? Despite the cards you were dealt with growing up, you worked through it and you made something out of yourself, and now you're successful. So how about also being the better person, even with your own family, and let go of that resentment, no matter what, and see how much better it makes you feel, dude. That's my suggestion, folks. No matter how wrong someone's done you, a family member, a friend, or whatever, right? Don't hold on to resentment. Let it go. Be the better person. If you encounter these people and they try to come at you, just say, "Hey, I understand why you feel that way. Hey, it is what it is, right? It's your opinion, right? Don't let it get to you, no matter how they come at you. Don't let it get to you. Because if you just let it go, right? You just let that shit go. It will change your life. It will change your life. And you'll be able to live a happy, successful, and healthy life in more ways than one. And that's where I'm going to wrap up this show. Let me go back to full screen here. Wrap up this show at 1 hour and 55 minutes. I want to thank everyone for being here, checking out Facebook and D Live one last time. No one's there. I want to thank Queen Helen Casey for being here tonight, and SIFUSMO Dion for being here. Glad you folks enjoyed the show. Folks, I should be back for a couple of streams tomorrow. Probably a Walking with Purpose stream in the late morning, and another in-studio stream at night. Also to my moderators, I'm going to be communicating with you more, not later tonight because it's late. It's midnight now on the East Coast where most of you are at, and it's 9 o'clock, after 9 o'clock, in my neck of the woods. And I really want to get a panel going, hopefully Friday night if that's possible. I want to do a panel discussing, trolls and haters, and discussing it in a positive way to where, hey, we share our thoughts, we share some of our experiences, and we just handle it professionally, respectfully, maturely. And we just talk about it in a way where we're just letting it go, right? I feel it's really important to do a show like that to get a group of good creators on YouTube or social media in general to come on my YouTube channel through a StreamYard panel and talk about these things and talk about how we handle it and how we move past it so we can help as many other people as possible that are going through this, right? Move past it as well. Always a pleasure, says Queen Helen Casey, and SAFUSMO Dion says, amazing show. Thanks for the advice, Coach. Yeah, dude, I show we have 192 views. Although a lot of those will probably be removed because they're probably duplicates. But I'll probably have anywhere from like 120 to 150 views once this show ends. So people are watching this, they're just not commenting. And you know who's watching it, right? Dion and Queen. A lot of the trolls are watching this because, I don't know. They just can't get enough of Eli, right? And they can't let go of whatever resentment they have towards me, which is probably me having a good upbringing, me taking care of myself, looking as good as possible for being 47, almost 48 years old. You know how it goes. But anyway, folks, I'm going to get on out. If you have a phone call to make, have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.